Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
And today feels, I don't know, it feels a little different than our usual vibe. Usually we're sitting here with this huge stack of articles about, productivity hacks or the future of AI or how to optimize your morning routine.
Right. How to get 3 hours of deep work done before the sun is even up.
Right.
You're usually in the business of more.
Exactly. More speed, more efficiency, more output. The standard operating procedure.
Yeah.
But the source material we're diving into today, it's basically asking us to take all of that more, put it in a box, and just shove it under the bed.
It starts with an invitation that honestly I think a lot of us just scroll right past.
Oh, for sure. It asks you to take a deep breath.
And it's really important to clarify this isn't the deep breath you take before a cold plunge or, a high-stakes meeting. It's not about preparing for action.
No. Which is usually the only reason I'm breathing intentionally.
Exactly. This is an invitation to just arrive, to stop hovering outside yourself and actually land in your own body for a second.
And I have to say, reading through this piece, it's called The Silent Return, it felt incredibly exposing. It felt like it was written for a very specific version of our listener, and honestly, a specific version of me. It's not for the person just starting out. It's for the version of you that has been going and going and going, even when no one was clapping.
The high-functioning survivor, the one who keeps everything running for everyone else.
Yeah. You've been moving while everyone was screaming about hustle. And you've sort of quietly outgrown all that, but you haven't really found what's next. You're in that messy middle.
That is exactly who the source is talking to. And the whole mission of this deep dive is to explore an idea that sounds almost heretical in our culture.
Right.
The idea that maybe today isn't about becoming better. Maybe today is just about becoming honest.
Honest over better.
Yeah.
I want to sit with that for a second because that is a really hard pill to swallow.
It is.
We're conditioned to believe we're just projects to be managed, right? I mean, my targeted ads are all fix your gut, fix your mindset, grow louder. We're constantly told we need a renovation.
Which works for a while. It gives you a sense of control until it doesn't. The source points to this very specific crisis point that I think most high performers eventually hit. It calls it the wall.
The wall where the caffeine stops working.
It's deeper than that. It's more than physical exhaustion. It's when the psychological tricks, they just stop working. You try to hype yourself up. You try to shame yourself into action, which is a big one for a lot of people. But the engine just will not turn over. It feels physically wrong to force it.
And my immediate reaction to that feeling, and I think I speak for a lot of us here, is just panic.
Yeah.
I think, oh no, I'm losing my edge, I'm broken. I need to push even harder to get my momentum back.
But the source just flips that completely. It argues that this resistance isn't a malfunction. It's an intervention.
An intervention.
And it suggests that what we've been calling self-improvement this whole time might actually be self-avoidance.
Okay, hold on. We have to unpack that. Self-avoidance.
Yeah.
Because that's a heavy accusation. I mean, I've spent a lot of time and money on self-improvement. I'm trying to be better. How can that be avoidance?
Well, think about the mechanism of it. Why do we stay so busy? Why optimize every single second? The argument here is that we often stay busy specifically so we don't have to feel. If you're constantly improving, you're always in motion towards some future version of you. You never have to just sit with who you are right now.
So the productivity is basically anesthesia.
Precisely. We stay productive so we don't have to listen to that quiet voice inside that might be saying, I hate this job, or I'm lonely.
Or just, I'm exhausted.
Exactly. We stay strong, armored up, so we never have to soften because softening feels dangerous.
It feels like if I stop moving, all the truth is just going to catch up to me and tackle me.
Yes.
Like if I sit still for 5 minutes, everything I haven't processed is just going to walk right in the door.
And that is exactly what the silent return is about. It's about letting the truth catch up. And here's the thing that really struck me. We expect these huge life changes to be like cinematic.
Right. We want the montage, the pop music, the haircut, dramatically quitting the job, the flight to Italy.
But this analysis says no. Real change is usually very quiet. It's not a post on social media. It's a subtle internal decision where you finally say, I'm done abandoning myself.
I'm done abandoning myself. That phrase, wow, that holds a lot of weight.
It does.
It implies that all this improving I was doing, all the performing, It was actually a form of betrayal.
In many ways, yeah. The source lists the symptoms of the self-betrayal, and they are painfully common.
Like what?
It's overriding your own needs day after day. It's the yes that leaves your mouth while your entire body is screaming no.
Oh, the polite yes. I think that's the default setting for most of us. You feel that tightening in your chest, but you just smile and agree anyway.
And the most damning one, I think, is shrinking your truth to keep the peace with people who aren't at peace with themselves.
That's the one that really got me. We contort ourselves to fit into rooms where we don't even want to be, just to avoid making someone else uncomfortable.
We prioritize their comfort over our own reality, and recognizing that is the turning point. But, and this is where it gets practical and a bit tricky, once you decide to stop abandoning yourself, you don't instantly feel good.
See, that was my assumption. I thought, okay, I choose me, cue the confidence, right? I should be strutting down the street feeling amazing.
Not at all. In fact, the source warns you might feel worse at first, or at least incredibly shaky.
Why?
Because real self-love doesn't begin with confidence. It begins with safety.
Okay, can you break that down? Why safety? Confidence seems like the goal we're all shooting for.
Because confidence is a performance. It's an outward thing. Look at me. I've got this. Safety is internal. It's biological. It's about your nervous system.
So we're talking about regulation here.
Right. If you've been hustling for years, running on adrenaline and cortisol, your body is in survival mode. You're constantly scanning for threats. Threats to your ego, your income, your status.
And we've normalized that keyed up feeling. We just call it being ambitious. If I'm not stressed, I must not be working hard enough.
Exactly. We've normalized a dysregulated nervous system, so when you stop chasing that intensity, the highs of the hustle, the validation, your nervous system doesn't know what to do. It feels unsafe because quiet isn't familiar.
It's like when you finally sit down on vacation and you suddenly feel anxious because you're not doing anything, the silence feels loud.
That's it. You're transitioning from chasing intensity to choosing stability. And that shift is profound. You're moving from proving your worth to protecting your peace.
But here's the trap I fall into, and I know I'm not alone. When you say stability and protecting peace, to my conditioned brain, that sounds an awful lot like doing nothing. It sounds like giving up. It sounds like laziness.
And the source anticipates that exact fear. It calls it the laziness myth.
Okay, so explain the myth. Because I am terrified that if I stop running, I will just melt into the couch and never get up again.
The material reframes this completely. It says, if you feel like you're losing your drive, you aren't failing. You are detoxing.
Detoxing.
You are detoxing from performance.
Detox from performance. That frames it so differently. It's active, not passive.
Exactly. You're not checking out of life. You're checking back into your actual life, not the performed version.
Right.
But because you're used to the noise, the external validation, the constant feedback, the silence just feels heavy.
And that leads us to what this phase actually looks like. Because the source gives it a name that I don't think is going to sell many coffee mugs.
No, it's terrible marketing.
It calls it the lonely phase.
Come heal, you'll be super lonely. But again, we're aiming for honest, not better.
So why is it lonely? Is it because we're pushing people away? Becoming hermits?
It's not that you're pushing people away maliciously. It's that you're no longer willing to perform the version of yourself that fit into those old relationships. The source redefines self-love here in a very gritty way. It is not affirmations in the mirror.
No, you go, girl. Sticky notes.
So, it's much harder stuff. It's letting yourself rest without guilt. Do you know how hard that is for a high achiever? To just sit there and not earn your existence for an hour.
It's nearly impossible. The guilt is always there, hovering, telling you what you should be doing.
Right. It's also walking away without closure.
Oof, that one stings. We are obsessed with closure. We want that final conversation, the neat wrap-up.
And sometimes self-love is realizing, I might not get that. They might not understand why I'm changing, and I have to be okay with that. It's trusting your own timing even when it confuses everyone around you. Outgrowing people doesn't always look like a big dramatic fight. Sometimes, as the source says, it just looks like silence.
And silence is terrifying. I mean, look at us. We fill every single gap. I fall asleep to YouTube videos just so I don't have to hear my own thoughts.
We all do. But the source argues that the silence isn't empty. It's spacious.
Spacious. I like that word. It sounds luxurious instead of lonely.
It's a room you can finally breathe in. And in that silence, your intuition finally gets loud enough to be heard over the noise of everyone else's expectations. That's where clarity comes from.
Not from a text thread with 10 friends?
Never. It comes from the silence.
So in the spaciousness, We stop romanticizing the struggle. We stop wearing exhaustion like a badge of honor.
Right. The I'm so busy, I'm so tired competition, you stop playing. You forfeit the game.
But if I'm not using how busy am I as my metric for success, what do I use? I need a compass. If I'm just drifting in this silence, how do I know I'm making the right choices?
The source gives us 3 new questions to replace the old ones. Instead of, is this impressive? You start asking, number 1, does this feel safe?
And again, we don't mean safe as in boring. We mean nervous system safe.
Correct. Am I under threat here? Do I have to armor up to be in this room? The second question, does this feel honest?
That's a sharp one. Does this feel honest? Not does this look good, but is this actually me?
And the third, which I think is the ultimate deal breaker, does this cost me my peace?
Does this cost me my peace? If the answer is yes, the price is just too high.
Simple as that, even if the paycheck is good. Even if the title is fancy.
Right.
And the source says if you start using these questions slowly, without force, your life reorganizes itself. You don't have to burn it all down with a flamethrower.
Thank goodness I don't have the luggage allowance for that.
You just start steering by these new stars and the course correction happens naturally.
It sounds much gentler than the whole burn the boats idea. But I want to pivot to the core philosophy here. The title is The Silent Return. A return to what?
This is maybe the most important takeaway of the whole thing. If you remember nothing else, remember this distinction. You were never broken. You were conditioned.
Say that again. Conditioned, not broken.
We spend billions on the self-help industry because we believe there's a fundamental flaw in us that needs fixing. But the source argues that the behaviors you hate, the people-pleasing, the anxiety, the overworking, that's not you. That's conditioning.
It's like software that someone else installed.
Exactly. You were conditioned to overgive because maybe that's how you got love as a child.
Yeah.
You were conditioned to overthink, to stay safe in a chaotic environment. You were conditioned to believe that rest and worth must be earned.
That is a massive paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Because if I'm broken, I need to be replaced.
Yeah.
But if I'm conditioned, I just need to unlearn.
Yes. Healing isn't about adding more layers of improvement. It's about peeling back the layers of conditioning to get to what was always there underneath.
So it's not a glow up.
No. A glow up implies you're becoming something new and shinier. This is a return. It implies you are remembering what was always right.
It feels like taking off a really heavy backpack after a long hike. It's not about getting stronger. It's just about putting the weight down.
That's a perfect analogy. It's a lightening. It's choosing softness in a world addicted to pressure. And the source makes a point here that I love. The most powerful transformations don't go viral.
Because nobody can see them. They are visual.
They go deep, not wide. Becoming yourself was never meant to be a spectacle.
I want to pause here and talk directly to you, the listener, because even hearing this, even feeling the relief of it, I know there's that nagging voice, the conditioned voice, and it's saying, this all sounds nice, but I feel stuck. Everyone else is moving forward. My friends are getting promotions, buying houses, and I'm just here, breathing. I'm falling behind.
That is the fear of irrelevance, the fear of being left behind. And the source addresses this directly with some really powerful reframes.
Let's hit those. I think we need them.
Okay, so if you think you are stuck, the source says, reframe it. You are actually stabilizing.
Stabilizing.
You can't build a skyscraper on a swamp. If your life has been chaos, you have to stabilize the ground first. And that looks like nothing is happening from the outside, but it's the most important part of the build.
Okay. Stuck equals stabilizing. I can work with that. What about the feeling of being behind?
If you think you're behind, reframe it. You are finally aligned. You stepped off the racetrack because you realized you were in a race you didn't even want to enter. You're not behind. You're on your own path now.
That's freeing. It removes the comparison. And what about that fear of losing momentum, that the fire is gone?
If you think you're losing momentum, you are actually building a foundation that won't collapse. Momentum is great, but a foundation is permanent. You're trading speed for durability.
Trading speed for durability. That is going to stick with me.
It's a trade worth making.
So what does this all mean for our daily lives? We've got the theory, the feelings, but when you wake up tomorrow, what do you do differently?
It means you don't need permission to evolve slowly. That is the practical takeaway. Your pace is not a problem. Your boundaries, even the ones that disappoint people, are not selfish.
And your softness, the desire to just be rather than do, it isn't weakness.
It's allowed. You're allowed to grow in peace.
And the promise of all this, the destination of this silent return, is that one day you'll just look back and notice something profound.
You trust yourself,
You feel safe in your own presence.
and you no longer abandon yourself to belong.
That's the goal. Not $1 million, not a perfect body, but just sticking with yourself, being on your own team.
It's the ultimate success.
Usually at this point, I'd be asking for a challenge of the week or some hack to implement this. Here's how to optimize your silence. But today, that just feels wrong.
It would be completely counterproductive, a to-do list for doing less.
Exactly. So instead, I just want to leave you with that final thought from the source. Becoming yourself was never meant to be loud.
And if you're in that quiet phase, that lonely phase, that boring phase where it feels like nothing is happening, stay there, trust it. You aren't failing, you're returning.
Thank you for taking this deep breath with us today.
It's been a pleasure. Take care of yourselves.
We'll see you the next one. Until then, stay deep.